Yes, people, we're back. We're back. We're back. It's me and Lee Judges talking all things football. In the international break, England playing tomorrow night. At the moment, it's got Northern Ireland, Germany, Wales, Belgium, I believe, are the two that people are watching right now. International break is not something that I do enjoy. However, we are in it, people. Bit of a chilled out time for me. I'm not doing too much. I'm trying to do something every day if I can. But if I'm honest, I'm not going to force the content. I'm just going to use it as a bit of a chill out, to be honest. And I think that's what me and Judges have agreed to do. We thought we'd try and keep up to date with a few things and do streams here and there. So big up to you all. I hope you're all good. I'm in a different place today. I'm at your parents' house. I've got works going on. I did a show today with Harry and Tom and Simon on my channel and explained it, but I've got my bathroom and it's being done. And the last thing you need is to try and get away with that. Because if you need a wee in the middle of the night, you're screwed. So I thought, do you know what? Let's go and live at the parents for a few days whilst that's getting done. So I'm here. Mum will look after me. I have no doubt. So looking forward to spending some time with the family during the international break. And I'm away for a couple of days, Wednesday, Thursday. So I thought we'd get on now, Judges, talk a little bit of football. Make sure you do me a favour, people. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let's get up to the next target, 50k, and pretty soon and sharpish. How you been, Lee? Not feeling too great today, mate.
Oh, no, I ain't feeling too great today. Like that. I mean, I went to a little family thing yesterday and got on it. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, a few beers, and then it was on the wine, and then on these rums. I didn't leave there till 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, you know what I mean? And I felt rough all day long. Like, you know what I mean? So it ain't good, but I had a good time. Like, and played football yesterday as well, which we won. So it's been a good weekend. Nice and easy, nothing mad. Went to a lovely steak restaurant place on Friday. So I've had a busy weekend, like, you know what I mean? But to get a hangover like yesterday, I haven't had one like that for ages. You know what I mean? I couldn't get up this morning. I couldn't do nothing then. I had the things to do today. I couldn't do it, like, you know what I mean? Like, unbelievable.
No, it's mad, bro. It's mad. It's the worst. As you get older, hangovers get worse as well. Absolutely, they do. Like, there's no denying that. When I was in my 20s, I used to wake up and feel fine, go to work or do whatever that day. I was all right. But I tell you what, trust me, as I've got into my late 30s, I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to drink anymore. If it's like this the next day, it really does make you think. It really does put you off getting on it, doesn't it? Like on a late one, it really does, because you just write off the next day pretty much, you know?
Fucking punishing you for having a good time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having a really good time. You know, I ain't seen what it was is like my sort of cousins, like Lauren and Francesca, like I see them in Dubai, and we said, we'll meet up again. I ain't really like seen them for a while, and like, you know, my mum come as well, and it was lovely, like, you know, and because you're all sort of catching up and talking and all that, like, so we had a really good time. And then you know, oh God, I'm feeling it today. Like, you know, they had to get up early in the morning. I knew that I didn't have to get up too early. Like, do you know what I mean? But I couldn't get up. Oh, damn, don't like that. I mean, but
No.
I feel a little bit better now. I've eaten crisps and things like that. You know, like you have to eat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I feel like? I should have gone and got McDonald's or something like that. You know what I mean?
And do you know what's mad, right? You need crap food, don't you? You know what I mean? Why do you
It's
need
mad.
rubbish food after a night out? You can't go and have like a pasta or something, or you can't go and have a salad. You got to go and get a Mackey's, or you got to go and get, like you say, sit there on the sofa and just do a family pack of crisps and chocolate. What is going on? Why do you need to do that? You know,
I
fry
don't know.
it.
I
You know
had
what I mean?
no clue, like, you know what I mean? But I'll tell you what, I was going to stop off at the calf today, like, and get something. Dan, I couldn't go through with it. I was that rough. I said, no, I couldn't do it.
No. Oh, mate, that's when you know it's bad, mate. That's when you know it's bad, to be fair. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I got to be honest. Look, man, there's England. And before we do go on to Arsenal, which is what we are going to be talking about, I thought I'd just quickly mention Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice can actually make England watchable more than they have been in the last few. I know me and you both stand very firm and very similar on England. Love watching them in the summer. Love it when it's a World Cup and a Euros. Not too fussed otherwise, if I'm honest. And I don't want to see Rice and Saka playing every minute, but at least when they are playing and scoring and doing well, I can get behind it and cheer it properly, because Saka, that goal the other night was top quality, absolutely top quality. And if I'm honest with you, I know they play every minute of every game under any manager because they two are our best players. And I don't like that. But if I was the manager, I'd do the same, because they're the two best players, or two of the better players in England. I think we just mentioned them, Lee, because I think that Rice and Saka, I don't think they get enough credit for what they do for club and country, because they play pretty much more minutes than anyone else. Saka, has come back from an injury. Rice, I don't know how he's still going. I'm sure he's running on fumes by the end of that Euros and start of Arsenal's regime. Big fan of these two kids, man. Well, these two lads, I should say.
Yeah, unbelievable, and I'll make you right. It does give you a little bit more satisfaction watching England, you know what I mean? So, when they're playing, because they're attacking players, they're at the heart of what England do well at this moment in time, and the Saka just produces and produces. He is our best player. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? I don't think he's nowhere near at his best yet, by the way. And he's still putting out numbers that other people will be pleased with and proud of. It's just unbelievable. So he just produces every time. And Declan Rice, as you say, whatever position he plays for England, he does well. And he was captain as well, which was is a big thing as well for us Arsenal fans, I think. So yeah, all good. And I'm looking at Sweden today, and looking around at all the games and seeing what we got. France, of course, we've got Saliba playing in that one. Trossard's playing in the Belgium game. 1-1 that game now, by the way.
Oh, okay, good. I need Belgium to win that one. It's in my echo.
De Bruyne has just equalised from a penalty. So, listen, the real stuff starts again at the weekend, as far as I'm concerned. But
absolutely,
it's still good to see, those boys doing fantastically well. See if Ezzy gets some sort of minutes tomorrow or whatever, and it'd be interesting to see what happens with
2-1 Belgium, by the way. 2-1 Belgium now.
Oh, 2-1 Belgium now,
Yeah. I checked to see if it was the case, and it is 2-1 apparently in 27 minutes. Don't know who scored. I ain't got it up yet, and the result up yet, but yeah, 2-1 Belgium. If it is De Bruyne again, it's crazy, really, isn't it, how good he still is. But yeah, it's who scored? Who scored? Oh, Meunier scored it. I was wondering if it'd be Trossard or not. But
no. Yeah, Meunier, So. And England under 21s are playing today. Of course, Ethan Wanyeri is playing in that game, and score is 0-0 at this moment in time.
Yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to Ash, Ryan. We've got Albert in there. Big up to you, bro. Hope you're well. Nando, all of you guys, all you mods as well. Big up to every single one of you. Make sure you're hitting the like button, people. And yeah, England tomorrow night. Hopefully they get a win and no injuries this international break, please. On that news, Odegaard confirmed a long layoff for him. 9 games that he's going to be missing for club and country. Is he made a bit of glass this season, judges? I got to be honest with you. You know what I mean? He keeps getting injured every different game, different different injuries. Shoulder, then the other shoulder, and then his ankle went, and then he's obviously got now his knee's gone. I don't know. I know of him having 4 injuries that are separate. Is it bad luck? Is he not quite 100% fit? What's going on with him? Because he's just getting good. See him against Olympiacos. I've got to say, I'll be honest with you, I thought he was one of our best players. And then against West Ham, I really, really was looking forward to watching him and Eze play together. It lasted about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, now he's out for a long time, bruv. I mean, it's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah. Listen, it could be a lot worse. I think, 4 league games and a couple of Champions League games, isn't it? Before he looks like he's going to come back. It's just unlucky. I mean, it must be really frustrating for him as well. You get yourself fit, start playing well, and then you get injured again and broke down. So listen, I think that and the 2 games that he come in, he was very, very influential when he went that Newcastle win with the last 10 minutes, and of course the game in the Champions League against Olympiacos. So listen, I think that what will be a good thing is after this international break, next one, we've got 4 games coming up in the league, and then after that, like November, December, January. There's a hell of a lot of games in that chunk there, and you're going to need everybody available. So hopefully it'll be fresh. And the other thing is, we've got to say, Dan, is that, he ain't playing at the moment. He missed these internationals, next internationals as well. He'll come back fresh, and that's another thing. We'll have about 3 or 4 players fresh to navigate those difficult months of I think November, December, and January. Because if you look at that November thing, we've got a couple of difficult ones in the back end of that, as we know, a couple of London derbies. So it's just one of those things. I feel sorry for him. I keep hearing this, Harvey, Odegaard's on this vegetarian. If he is, look, I went to a good steak restaurant on Friday. He's get himself down there, you know what I mean?
He does look like he's lost weight. He does look like he lost a bit of weight, and then he put a bit on, people said, and it's one of those. But look, I don't really care what it is about people's diets and exercise, etc. But for me, he was looking very, very good against Olympiacos. And as you say, when he came on as cameo for the Newcastle game. And it is frustrating now, but I wanted to ask you a question, Lee. I'm going to ask you in a minute about what this means for our midfield. But what does it mean for the captain's armband right now? Because everyone's been screaming for Declan Rice and Gabriel to be the captains for quite some time. But when Martin Odegaard is out or injured or not on the pitch, Saka is our captain. He is kind of the vice captain, so to speak. What do you make of that decision? Because for me, I think it's clearly Declan Rice and Gabriel that are the leaders, captains of the old school that fans like. And I think if there was a vote, Declan Rice would win it, closely followed by Gabriel. But Mikel Arteta sees it differently, and he says it's pretty much about the role model and the most popular and the nicey man, the one that everyone loves, and that's Odegaard and Saka. Do you care much about this? Because I do. I like the captain to be old school. I'm a bit old school, and I appreciate that times change and that football changes. But I can't help but not think that Declan Rice should be, or Gabriel should be, wearing that ahead of Saka. But look, I love Saka, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and listen, I bet Argentina or Portugal got some real top leaders in their sides. You know what I mean? Over the years and all that. But it's always been Messi's been their captain, and Ronaldo, have been the captains because they're the best players. So I get it with Saka a little bit, that he is the best player. So you give him it. I don't think there's nothing wrong with him being captain. He's not what I would call a captain, because one, he's in a position that I don't like seeing as a captain. When you're out wide or up front, I don't think maybe I'm being old school when I say that. I always feel it should be a midfielder or a defender to be captain, And I just think that sometimes, in a game, you're involved in it a lot more if you're in midfield or whatever, Listen, I think Declan Rice would be an unbelievable captain. I said that. Funny when he was playing for England last week, Saka weren't even mentioned for captaincy out of any of them, was he really? No, didn't get a mention for captain. And Declan Rice got it. So he's been there quite a while, come through the ranks and all that. I don't know if he was ever captain in the youth teams or whatever. It'd be really interesting to know that if he ever was. I probably he wasn't, But I haven't got a real problem with it. I listen. If at the end of the day Odegaard's not captain and Saka's not playing, you can fight. Gabriel is an unbelievable leader, and so is Declan Rice. But listen, they lead on the pitch without the armband, and I think that's a big plus on their account. And that's the good thing now, Dan, that we've got 4 or 5 players that could be captain or captain material, where 4, 5, 6 years ago we were struggling for none. You know what I mean? So I do think that Gabriel, or and I think if you had a vote on it, I think it would. I think it'd be tight who would win that.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon it would be. I don't think it'd be massive between Gabriel and Rice, but I think that if you put Gabriel, Rice, and Saka in there, and maybe Saliba as well. I think Saliba and Saka, who are our 2 best players, wouldn't be in it,
Yeah, look, I would give it personally. I would actually give it to Gabriel, and Rice would be my vice captain. But there's
There
a
you
lot of
go.
people that do it the other way around, and they'd say Rice and then Gabriel vice captain. But either way, none of these two are getting a look in. Whilst Odegaard and Saka are here. So look, the captaincy has changed over the years. If I'm honest with you, Lee, in the 90s and the 2000s, I could have said to you, name me Man United captain, name me Chelsea captain, name me Liverpool captain. And you would have said Keane, Terry, Gerrard straight away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I'd have to go, I don't know. Who's the Man United captain? Who is it? It's Bruno, isn't it? Right, okay. He'd be like, come on, tell us, who's the Chelsea captain? You know, I don't know. Is it Reece James? I don't actually know. I think it's Reece James.
It is Reece James. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you know what I mean. I wouldn't be able to tell you straight away. And who's the Man City manager? I know the answer, but do you know who it is?
Who's captain of Man City?
Yeah. There you go.
Rodri.
If I asked you before, you'd go, boom, Vincent Kompany, wouldn't you? But it's now Bernardo Silva. So
is he really?
Yeah, there you go. And he's not known as he's known as an Odegaard, really, isn't he? Quiet one, introvert.
Yes, that's right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it is completely changed now. You know, Liverpool we know it's Van Dijk, but like there's it's very changed. It's changed a lot now, the captaincy. It really has. It ain't about, you don't have those strong commanding leaders, do you? Do you know what I mean? Anymore. You don't really have that. There's not many in the Premier League that you go, cool, yeah, you wouldn't want to mess with him. Like he's a Roy Keane or he's a Patrick Vieira, he's a Tony Adams. There ain't many, is there? Do you know what I mean? The John Terry.
I think it goes down to like a lot of them now who's the best player. You know what I mean? Like I think that it does. You know what I mean? I don't even. I'm just trying to think going through. Seems like I don't even know who Everton's captain is. Like, you know what I mean? So
I think it's is it Tarkowski or is it Pickford? I don't know. It's one of them, isn't it?
I don't know. You know what I mean? So like, you know, but you'd years ago you'd run them all off. You know what I mean? You knew.
Yeah, you would.
Of teams. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't. I don't know. You know, it's a strange thing. Like, you know, listen, we've been blessed with captains over the years. You know what I mean? Like growing up, Tony Adams. You know, would be the first one probably. You know, like, you know what I mean. But there was great captains before Tony Adams as well. But like proper up there, and then Vieira. You know, and really like since Vieira, we've had decent captains, but I wouldn't say a real standout captain. You know what I mean? So Fabregas done a good job, but I wouldn't have put Fabregas down as a leader, even though he's doing well as a manager. Like, you know, so yeah, I think it is a strange one, that, like, you know. So you look at a lot of these teams now. Goalkeepers are internationally, goalkeepers are captains and things like that.
Yeah.
Interesting, like, you know.
No, it's made it kind of is, man, to be fair. I'll tell you what I've got. I'm going to run through it quick while I've got it up in front of me. Odegaard is the Arsenal captain. The Aston Villa captain is John McGinn. Adam Smith is the Bournemouth manager. Nathan Collins is Brentford manager. Lewis Dunk is Brighton's manager. Josh Cullen is Burnley's manager. Manager. I keep saying manager. Captain, sorry. Reece James is a Chelsea captain. Mark Guehi is the Palace captain. Everton is Seamus Coleman. I can't believe he's still there at 37. And then it's James Tarkowski. Fulham, Tom Kearney. I mean, he hardly even plays. Then it's Leno in goal.
I'll tell you what, he'd have done well to get that one.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah. Leeds is Ampadu. Liverpool's Van Dijk. City is Bernardo Silva. Man United, Bruno. Newcastle's captain. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, Bruno.
No, he's the vice captain.
So it's Trippier.
No.
No?
It's a player who don't even play, mate.
Lascelles.
Jamal Lascelles is the manager. Then it's Dan Burn as the vice and Bruno. See what I mean? It's crazy. Like Nottingham Forest, Ryan Yates and Chris Wood. Sunderland, Granit Xhaka. Tottenham, Romero. West Ham is Bowen. And Wolves is Totti, centre half. That's what I mean. Like, you wouldn't know many of them, would you? Like, you wouldn't know.
That's crazy, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
You know, if you did a quiz, how many of them out of 20 would you get right?
Not all of them. Definitely not all of them.
11 or 12, you're doing well. Do you know what I mean?
Never would have got the Fulham one. Never. Never would have got
mate. There you go. It's mad. Look, in terms of our midfield moving forward, Zubimendi and Rice are going to be playing. I think when people want to see one of those, I get it. I've been on that boat. Let's play one and let's go with Eze and someone else. I don't think that's going to happen while Odegaard's out. I don't think you're going to see one of those dropped while Odegaard is out. What do you think he's going to go with now? Is he going to go with more of a 4-2-3-1 with Rice and Zubimendi as a kind of double pivot with Eze playing in the creative role? Is he going to go with Marino and Eze? Is he going to go with Rice, Zubimendi and Marino? What do you think he'll favour across these next few games while Odegaard's out, mate?
Well, I think you go Eze now, like, you know, or Wanyeri, I think would be the two that I would think that he would do in the games that we've got coming up. Then, you know what I mean? Like, I can't see, you know, like the Marino thing. Like, if we had a real big game in that, maybe, but like, no, I think Eze will get the role. That left-hand side still open as far as I'm concerned. Whoever takes that, whether it be Martin, he could play Eze there. But, you know, I'll keep saying that there's a certain player coming back that I think will fill that left-hand side, like, you know. So that's what I think. You know, people think I'm crazy, but it wouldn't surprise me then, like, you know what I mean? So, you know, your mum would be like throwing the wall at the moment. But,
yeah, man. I've got to be honest, I don't think it's mad when you do think that there are people out there believe Havertz is definitely starting in this 11. Whether that means it's up top and Gyökeres is dropped, whether it means Havertz is left wing, whether it means Gyökeres is somewhere else. I got to be honest, I think he wants Havertz in this 11. And it might be, like you say, that Havertz plays there and Eze goes on the left, or Havertz plays with Eze in the middle and Rice or Zubimendi, one of them gets dropped. I think there'll be games where you look at Havertz and think, oh my God, he's playing there now. Oh my God, he's playing here. And all I'll say, Lee, and I know you're a fan of him, if that happens, do not lose. Because if you lose, it's going to go wrong for Mikel. Let me tell you that. And I think he's back in the next few weeks, Havertz and Jesus. I think they're going to be back around November, December time, from what I understand. So I think we're going to see both of these. And look, I want them both back, Lee. You know, it's like you see him on the bench in Capia as well, and Madueke. I think by sort of November, December time, they'll all be on the within the side. I think this is going to be within weeks, not months. So I think that, you know, within the kind of towards the end of the year, I think you'll see these guys, you know, firing on all cylinders in the Carabao Cup games and getting them ready for, you know, the league. That's what I hope as well, because you want your players fit. Whether you're a fan of these players or not, you want your team fit, don't you?
100%. You want all options all over, like, you know what I mean? So, you know, listen, I don't know where Havertz is going to play. I'm just like teasing it, all that. But like someone said today, I don't know how they get this information, by the way, that he's back in training. How do they get? I haven't seen any of that out. You know what I mean? Like, Arsenal haven't released anything, like, you know, but they're saying that he's back. You know, Jesus coming back. It certainly will boost the squad and make decisions. The one thing that worries me, I don't know. Do you know if you've got too many options, you maybe then start making mistakes? I don't know. You know what I mean? That's going to be his job, like, you know what I mean? So, listen, Havertz could play the. I think it wouldn't surprise me, Dan, that Havertz will maybe play in the midfield as instead of play the Mourinho role. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so it will be Rice. Zubimendi and Havertz. Why, if he comes back before Odegaard, they're looking at the same sort of time. Listen, they said it was going to be weeks for. I expect to see Havertz playing sometime this month. I do. I think that he will do. Like, you know what I mean. So you know, he's been out bloody since the first game of the season. So I don't know whether it was August or whatever. So. Listen, I think it's good till we've got options, you know, and you know, we've got, I think, good options on the left-hand side, but they've got to really, you know, like, I don't know how you feel about this, Dan. People might be thinking, oh, well, get Eze on the left gives us, you know, more options on that, like, instead of playing him in the 10. But I think he's going to play in the 10 now, surely, and it just gives us so many, you know. hopefully a few more options. You know what I mean?
I hope he goes with Eza. I don't want to be seeing Havertz in midfield. I'm sorry. I just don't want to be seeing that. Havertz comes on as a 9 or starts as a 9, and you bring on Jokeris, bring on one and give him a rest. That's what I want to be seeing Havertz used as. If he plays in midfield, which I think he probably will for some games, I'm not really a fan of it, and I hope he performs well because there'll be pressure if he doesn't, in my opinion. But look, I think we've got options now. You know, Ethan Nwaneri could still get a shout. No one mentions Ethan, but Ethan might be seen now as coming off the bench a bit more, Lee, isn't it? Because a lot of people have been crying out for Ethan. Now Odegaard's out. Eza probably will start. But do you know what? There's a chance for Ethan, isn't there, to come on and get some minutes now?
Yeah, 100%. And he should get some, like, you know what I mean?
I agree.
It's sort of been like, people haven't really said too much about him, like, you know what I mean? But I think he's done very, very well. So, listen, there's going to be lots of games. You know, we play Fulham on Saturday and then, like, quick turnaround to play Atletico Madrid I think it's on a Tuesday. So there's 2 games there, like in quick succession. So you've got to give somebody a game, someone a rest. So it'd be very, very interesting. And I think then we've got a little bit of a break to the Sunday, so they can all be rested for the next game. But listen, this is what it's about now. I think that Wilshere has had a couple of games for England's under 21s this week. That got some minutes in his legs, which is a good thing. And then, like, come back and I think he deserves a shout. Away to Fulham, it's going to be a tough one. If I'll be really honest with it, I would probably go Martinelli or Trossard on the left, and Eze in the 10 for this game, like against Fulham. You know, that's what I would do. But you know, we'll have to wait and see. But I think Wilshere deserves chances.
Yeah. Listen, I agree. I want to be seeing Ethan a lot more, and I think he deserves a hell of a lot more game time. And I hope that he starts a few games because for me, I'm a big fan of him. He's one of my favourites. I love watching him, and he excites me when he plays because he gets me out of my seat, and he actually ain't afraid to have the intent to drive forward and have a dig. So, look, we're going to talk about and come to a kind of close section on this. The next 6 games. Now, people might ask me why I'm picking 6. Well, we started with the first 6 and we're done. So now we need to look at the next 6. And the next 6, dare I say it, bruv, are winnable. The next 6 are games that last season, in particular, we didn't take 100% points off of. So this is the kind of way I look at it. And you might look at this differently, Lee. I look at the reasons why we didn't win the league last season. And it was games like Fulham, games like Everton, games like Palace, maybe games like Brighton and Bournemouth last season. We really should have been winning on paper, but we didn't. And we've got a few of those fixtures again coming up. Now, Fulham away is first. Let's talk about that one very quickly at the weekend. That was a game last season that we drew 1-1. And if you remember, we scored in the last minute and it was literally a toe offside from Martinelli. Very, very unlucky, to be fair. This game is must win. And I'm going into this one more quietly confident than I was last season, just because of the way that we're playing. I remember Paul was down. I remember Paolo was down. And I said to him, he was sheeming a set piece again. LA is the only thing we've got. And it did come from a set piece again, our goal. But we weren't amazing against Fulham. We weren't playing that well. I feel like it's a little bit different going into this fixture this time, Lee.
Yeah, I look back at that one last season with mixed emotions because I didn't think we'd done enough to win it, didn't do enough to, and then, you know, when Martinelli gets that last minute winner, or did he put the cross in or so? I can't remember who scored it now, but he put the ball in, didn't he? Or he was offside anyway.
Yeah.
So, and we was all going mad thinking that we'd won it. Saka, got the goal. And you think, right, that was but. And that, you know, we didn't do that. I want to see us, but, you know, this season before that, I think we lost there. The season after before that, 1-3-0. We've got to go there and be convincing. It's not. I don't really know how to explain Fulham. If you haven't been there, if you've been there, you'll know what I mean. It's not an intimidating ground to go and play at. It's not.
No.
I would imagine it's probably one of the better away games to play at, atmosphere-wise. It's not hostile. It's a lovely ground to play at. You're all behind the goal. You know what I mean? I know, like, which is a really weird thing. You've got this sort of like neutral end where both sets of supporters go. And so, like, there's a lot of Arsenal fans get in there, and I don't know. So I feel that we should go there and play a lot better than what we actually do. I don't really understand why we don't. I love the ground. I love the vibes of it all and all that. But you've got to go there and make a statement, Dan. I'm sorry, like, Arsenal got to go there and win. Look, listen, I'd be happy if we win 1-0, 2-1 or something like that. But I think if we go there and we win 2-0, 3-0, that really get me juices flowing for the next games coming up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I've got to be seeing us win there. I have to be seeing us win there. I don't think you go into any game at the moment feeling, I'm not too sure about this one, the way everyone have been so unsettled. And Fulham are one of those. I don't see them as a settled side yet. I don't think they're a team that score an amazing amount of goals. If you remember the goal they did score was a mistake from Kivior, and Raul Jimenez got in behind him and, went 1-0 up. So I do think that it'll be a tricky game. But I don't feel like we should be going in there, I think a draw maybe, or I'm not sure. Nah, we've got to take 3 points. And then after that, we've got a game that we didn't really do too well against last season, which was a draw at home, 2-2, to Crystal Palace, which was a mistake, if you remember, Mateta lobbing Dreyer. And I think we should be doing better. Now, I know Palace are a very good side, and I've got a lot of respect for Palace, and what Glasner's done there, I think, has been phenomenal. But we need to win this game, Lee. You've got to win your home games as it is. But on the back of a Fulham away, I think we have to now go and take 3 points here at Palace as well. That's going to be tricky, Lee, 'cause they're a good side.
Yeah, 100%. And not only that, Dan, they're a good side, Palace, but they just lost to Everton at home. You know what I mean? You know, you got to win these games. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. You know what I mean? At home, it's a tough game. And listen, Palace have been bloody brilliant this season so far, but we're at home. Listen, I'd be really, really cautious about if it was away from home. But because it's at home, again, no excuses. Get it done. Get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. Either side of that game as well, by the way. We've got Atletico Madrid on the Tuesday, and then the Wednesday, Brighton in the Carabao Cup. Now, I'll be at both those games. So that's 3 home games in a row, basically. This is where the squad rotation comes in, bruv, isn't it? Because you ain't going to be playing the same 11 for Fulham, Madrid, Palace and Brighton. Now, we know that it's going to be a squad rotation for the Brighton game. But how do we manage the rotation for the 3 games, Fulham, Atletico Madrid and Palace? Do you think he looks at rotating it after 60 minutes? Does he look at starting with a different 11 and bringing them on? Like, how does he do this? Because all 3 of them, we've got to be winning, haven't we?
Yeah. I think he go very strong against Fulham. I think he'll make changes against Atletico Madrid, like it 1 or 2, maybe 3. I would say probably strong as he can do against Palace, and then wholesale changes against Brighton.
Yeah, wholesale changes against Brighton are fine because, Graham said on the channel the other night, didn't he, that you could put a second string team or 11 up against anyone in the Carabao and it'd still be half decent. And people still look at it and go, wow, they should go through. So definitely about Brighton. And I'm with you for the others. Then we move after that Carabao Cup game to Burnley away. Now, Burnley away, that is an absolute given of 3 points, in my opinion. You can't be going there and dropping any points, bruv. Like, we do well up there usually over the years. Are you worried about that one, or do you think we got enough there?
I'm always worried when you're away from home because they're always tough. But, come on, Liverpool found it hard there, but they got through. I think it will be tough. But I'll tell you what, if you're going to be a team chasing Champions League spots, right, you have to win at Burnley. So if you're challenging for the title, that it tells you all what you have. You've got to go there, and we cannot afford to drop points there. It's going to be a tough game, though, but I expect Arsenal to come through in that one.
Yeah, I think that is a 3-pointer. Then we've got Sunderland away. We have got Slavia Prague away on the Tuesday the 4th, but then we've got Sunderland away. So 3 away games in a row So we've got 3 home games and 3 away games in a row. And we're doing a lot of travelling there, really. So we're going up to Burnley, then we're over to Prague, then we're up to Sunderland. So that I know I don't want to make excuses, but that can make things trickier, Lee, can't it? You know what I mean?
Well, listen, without a shadow of a doubt, like listen, they're going to go to Burnley, which is a long journey, by the way. Like I don't know, they might fly into Manchester. I don't know how they do that, but they're definitely obviously going to fly to Prague, and then they're 100% like fly to Sunderland. You know what I mean? Like that is a give me, like, you know. But that ain't it's not easy doing that. You know what I mean? Like quick turnaround. Then like play Burnley. Right, you think about this. You play Burnley, 3 o'clock kickoff. You get back home 10 o'clock at night, say for that light. Sunday's a recovery day, a rest day or recovery day. Monday you got to train, and then play on the Tuesday. Then you've got to have a little bit more recovery day and whatever, like. And then on the Friday you've got to fly up to Sunderland. Difficult, like, you know. But at the end of the day, listen, they're used to it. They'd be all right about that, like, and hopefully get it done. But them 2 games on paper look like 2 teams that are promoted. But we're going to have to be at our very, very best defensively to win both of those games, Dan. Like, you know, and I'm sorry again. I'm going to say it. Like, you know, you've got to go up to Sunderland, and you've got, you know, if you've beaten Newcastle away from home, you've got to go up to Sunderland, and do exactly the same. Like, you know, so I expect, you know, maximum points from the next 4 games. I think if we're going to win the league, Dan, we're going to have to get that. You know, we've got to get, I don't say so, you've got to get like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins on the spin. Like, you know, to get those sort of wins, when you look at those fixtures that we've got, you should get them. You're halfway there, like, you know what I mean? So I think it's very, very important that we win these games, Dan, and don't drop any points whatsoever.
I agree. We can't be dropping to any of those teams. I really don't think we can afford to drop to Fulham, Palace, Burnley or Sunderland, because after that, the next 2 are the big ones, mate. The North London derby at home at the Emirates on the 23rd, and then a weekend later is Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And in between that, we've got Bayern Munich at home. So we've got Spurs, Bayern Munich and Chelsea in a week. I'm going to be honest with you. We need to win both those games. Tottenham and Chelsea, and we should be beating them as well. We shouldn't be looking at Tottenham or Chelsea right now and going, oh, not sure. I think they're 2 draws. We should be saying beat them, because they don't look great. Tottenham don't look great. They look hard to beat, but they don't look great. Chelsea, they don't look right. And I know they beat Liverpool in the last kick of the game, but they don't look amazing. I think we should be beating both of these sides, judges.
Yeah, well, listen, Tottenham at home, you've got to win that game. Simple as that. Like, they're up there. I think they're 3rd at this moment in time, but you've got to go there at home and beat them. Chelsea's a different, you know, I look at that and go, you know, it's going to be a tough one. They'll have Cole Palmer back by then. Like, they've got some good players. But if you're going to go there, I look at Chelsea on par with, say, a Newcastle sort of team. You know what I mean? Like, go up there, get the result, get, you know, by hook or by crook. But I think that will be you know, should be tough. But we have a good record there, like, over the last few years. And as I keep telling people, I keep saying it, when Chelsea were much better than us, they'd come to the Emirates and beat us. You know what I mean? Like, and that is what we've got to do to these teams, is make sure that when we are better than them, go and make sure you get that result. But I think that, you know, that will be a tough game. Out of all the games I'm looking at, that's the one that I'm not fear, but I'm thinking, like, that we've got to be right on our game that day. Like, you know what I mean? No excuses. But we, you know, and if we do play really well, we might listen. Liverpool never played well in that game, Dan, against Chelsea. They weren't at the races. I don't care what anybody says. I thought they weren't great, but when it went 1-1, there was a window of opportunity for them to win that game, and they didn't take it. Like, you know, so that's what Arsenal have. They have their window of opportunity, and we must take it. Like, you know what I mean? But I think that'd be a very, very even game. But I do expect Arsenal to win that. Yeah.
Well, quickly mention Bayern Munich in between that, because that is going to be key. And this is where squad rotation and squad depth does come in. because we can't be playing the same team for all 3 of those games,
No.
and they're all massive. They're all massive, and they will be by the time we play them. They'll, it's not like we're going to get to the stage and go, they're not important anymore. I think they're going to be huge. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, you've got to go strong because you can't not. Tottenham at home, you can't. I don't accept losing that game, so I don't really accept not winning it. So for me, you have to go all out for that one. Bayern Munich, Lee, very, very impressive. I've been very, very impressed actually with how they're playing. Obviously, it's not just Harry Kane. I think Michael Elise is one of the best players right now to watch. I think he's absolutely outstanding player, and I've obviously got the quality in each of their departments, to be fair to Bayern Munich. And Vincent Kompany, I'm not a massive lover of him, I've got to be honest, but he's obviously done a good job so far this season, and he won the league stuff. So I think you've got to respect him. That game's going to be potentially quite important for us because I know that we'll play Prague by then and we would have played Atletico Madrid by then and we've won our first 2. But if we do beat Atletico Madrid and Slavia Prague, do you think that one will end up being a must-win in comparison to the other 2? Or do you think we might look at Tottenham and Chelsea as a priority over Bayern Munich? I know that's a mad thing to say, but if long as we win the other 2, we might look to, I don't know, I might be wrong. Maybe we'll go all out. I think I think we should go all out to win all 3. My point is, you've got to rotate somewhere. How do we do that?
Rotating that game. That game is more. You can afford maybe to draw that game, still qualify or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Listen, we all want to win the group and whatever. Like, but I would like. We play like our international break, come back, play Tottenham. You know, emotionally, physically, everything about that game's going to be tough. Beat Spurs, then you got the Wednesday, rotating that game. I'm not saying massively rotate, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't think like leaving out certain players, you know, if you're leaving out the Declan Rice or you're leaving out a Saka and bringing in Madueke, because I think he's back in training now, and other players like, you know what I mean, like Gyökeres or someone like that, I don't think it's a big lot of difference, you know what I mean? And then go back to the game against Chelsea full on again. I think the good thing about that is it's Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday. So you've got a little bit of a couple of days in between. Like, it's not like Saturday and then Tuesday, you know what I mean? I don't know, like Sunday, Wednesday, it's the same thing, I suppose. I suppose you look at it and go, it's the same sort of turnaround as it was Saturday and Tuesday. So I think that they make changes definitely in that Wednesday game, like, you know, but the two Premier League games, strong and really, really go for it. Like, listen, Dan, if you're changing Timber for White, or fully fit White by this time, and you're changing Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Skelly over, and you may be changing, you know, Norgard getting some sort of minutes probably as a holding midfield player instead of Zubimendi. Up front, you're bringing in Havertz, Madueke. I don't think that's too much of a drop-off all around, Dan, for a Champions League game, you know. So I wouldn't go mad and say 6 or 7, but 3 or 4 changes. And maybe even in the Chelsea game, go a little bit more defensively with your structure. I don't know, like to rest players. But I wouldn't go too mad on the other 2 games. I would like go with the best team that you think. Like, for me, like, we know the sort of team that we got. Rotate it out a couple of on the Wednesday and then go back in against. Listen, I don't think you can afford to drop too many points in the Premier League. You know what I mean? Like, where I think in the Champions League you can drop points at this stage and still qualify. So, but listen, this is what this squad's about now, Dan. You know what I mean? Making changes and still winning games of football. That's what we've got to do, and that's what's in front for this squad now. Like, you know what I mean? This is what they've got in there. I've got no bad feelings about giving Norgard games, not just League Cup games and all that. You know, these players have been brought in. Give them the big game here and there as well, like that. Make them go and prove themselves. So, you know, that's what I would do anyway.
Look, we had a good summer, and this is the time.
Yeah,
we're going to see how good the summer is, because if we can afford to rotate across those 3 games and come out with 9 points, that means our summer has been fantastic, like we think it's been. If we look at Mosquera and Nkapie when he's fit, Calafiori, Lewis-Skelly, Ethan Wanyeri, maybe we look at the players like Havertz and Jesus, who might be back at that time. Maybe we're looking at Madueke, who might be back at that time. That's when we're going to start to look at it and go, right, we can go and win these competitions because we're rotating and we are not seeing a huge drop-off. And that was the only problem I had a few years ago when players like Fabi Vieira were coming in. Maybe you can even look at Reece Nelson and Eddie. You can look at some of the other players that were coming in, like Tavares and the Conga. We weren't able to do that, Lee. The minute I saw them on the pitch, I was like, we ain't winning. We ain't winning. And now I'm like, might not win here. We guarantee to win, but I fancy us. I'm quietly confident we can do this. So I think that's the difference now. We've got the squad. We were saying it earlier on the channel. I did earlier on my channel with Tom and Harry. We were saying, look, this is now the squad we've got. And we haven't had that 100% for the last couple of years. And that is something. Whether you think the owners are good, the manager's good, the players are good, the squad has not been this strong in the reign of Mikel Arteta. So this is now why we've got to go get across the line. So I'll ask you this. Those games, 6 games in the Premier League, it's a maximum of 18 points. Are we saying we expect 18 points, or is that too unrealistic and too harsh?
No, 18 or 15 points. No, okay. 18 or 16 points, sorry. Is that my calculations? 1 draw and 5 wins.
We've got 1 draw and 5 wins. Okay.
But if Arsenal are going to win this league, you know what I mean? Like, they need to bring in that sort of points tally from these games. They need to. They need to get in front in this league. You know what I mean? We're 1 point in front. We need by the next international break to be at least 3. And then after that, 4 or 5. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it. Like, and that's when, the likes of Van Dijk has got to be playing every game so far. Like, as they can't rest him like we can rest players. They've got to continue to play him. So Liverpool got some real tough games coming up. Man City got tough games coming up, not just in the league, by the way, a Champions League as well. I know we got Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich coming up in the next few games, but so have they. We've all got difficult Champions League games. So we can afford to rest a few players or rotate a lot better than the likes of Spurs, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Liverpool can do it in their front areas. They can't do it at the back then, and City have got injury problems at the minute. It looks like they're getting them back, but we've got to go here and win these games. Every game's tough, but I'm sorry, those ones on paper, 5 of them, you know what I mean? Like, we've got 2 teams, right, that are promoted in Burnley and Sunderland, right? We've got to go away to Fulham, who are mid-table to top side, but that's that. So that's your 3 away games. 2 London derbies at home against Tottenham and at home against Crystal Palace. You expect them to win those sort of games. And then Chelsea away, which anything can happen in. That's how I look at it. It's not an easy place to go, Chelsea. So that's how I look at it. That's how I see it, and that's how I expect it to work out. I'll be fuming if we drop points at home against Crystal Palace or Tottenham. Fuming, because we should not be doing that.
What I will say is this. I can't tip Arsenal to win the league until I see them go 8 or 9 points clear of Liverpool or City, whoever it is. Because we were 8 points clear last time. We weren't able to do it, right? If we were 8 points clear this time, I'd fancy a chances. So if we can do that and put some mad gap up against one of those 2 sides, that's when I'll say, all right, Arsenal are going to win the league. And I will do that, and I will say that, and I will believe that. I don't know it is going to be that simple, though. I've seen a few people go, oh, Liverpool, they've lost 3. That means we can go 8 or 9 points. You've still got City that are right behind us. You've still got other teams that could have a sneaky chance of being close enough to have a bit of a go until sort of at least around Christmas, January time, as we saw with Chelsea last season. But I've got to be honest, I don't know that it is going to be like that. I don't know that there will be a team that pulls 8 or 9 points clear this year. I don't think there will. I think it's going to be tight, and I think people are underestimating how tight. I do think when you've got Man City that people are sleeping on, when Haaland's banging them in the form of his life, and I'm not sleeping on Man City like some people are, Lee. I'm not sleeping on
especially why he's scoring the goals that he is, you know what I mean? Like, Yeah. So listen, I agree with you. Arsenal, like, we want to get into that position we did a couple of years ago when we was a few points in front, and then we've got the players now and the squad to see it over the line. You know what I mean? That's what we've got to do. So we just got to keep winning games of football. Like, that's what we've got to do now. Win, win, win. Listen, when we got these 4 games that we speak about, Liverpool and Man City have got to play each other. One of them has got to. There's no way it cannot happen. One of them has got to drop points. One of those teams will drop points. Maybe both, but one of them guaranteed of dropping points because they play each other. And we've got to take advantage of that. Got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. Just quickly, before we do come to a close, Ash was asking in the chat, and I will ask this question because I did see it has been announced. Jack Wilshere, new Luton manager.
Yeah.
I wish him well, man. I wish him well. I hope he does well, man. I hope he does well, Lee.
Absolutely delighted for him. Deserves it. Deserves a chance. Great lad. Unfortunately, injuries, finished what would have been a wonderful, wonderful career for him. But he's looking like he's got his head screwed on to be a very, very good manager and coach. And was unfortunate not to get the job at Norwich, but could have gone back to Arsenal, but he's waited for his opportunity. Luton is a very, very good club for him to start at, So I'll be definitely looking at Luton's results from now on, So
I will be, and I'll say this quickly. I was always amazed when I asked the question, when was it that you felt old? Today is the answer. Today is the answer for me because Jack Wilshere and Cesc Fabregas are both managers. That means I'm old because I was watching them when I weren't too far off their age thinking, oh, yeah, they're young. They've got so much long in the length of the game. And I'm 37 and they're both retired, and it's scary, really. So it is one of those. It is one of those. Big up to Don in the chat as well, legend, bro. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you enjoy an international break. I got to be honest, judges. I will watch the game tomorrow. I won't be too excited, but I will see how our boys are doing in Rice and Saka. Just your quick thought as we close on England because it is international break. What have you made of Tuchel and what do you make of the England's side? Because I think the squad is very, very good. Like, very good. I think it's, in fact, the best it's been in my era of watching England. I've got to be honest. I look at the quality and I think, crikey, there's unbelievable players that have come through at the same time. Although I don't think the 11 is as good as the golden generation, I do think the squad is better. The squad depth is better. Do you think we've got a good chance under Tuchel of winning a competition?
I think we've got an unbelievable chance because I think we've got better and better players all round up front than any other team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you look at Harry Kane, Saka, you've got Eze, you've got on that left-hand side, you could play Rashford. You've got at this moment in time, like people like Foden not in it. Jack Grealish, I think, has got to come into it at some stage, really. Like, you've got Bowen in there, and we're all saying that what a fantastic player he is. They've got, Ollie Watkins. A lot of these other teams ain't got that. You know what I mean? Like, you look at Spain and Germany and everything like that. They haven't got someone as good as. They might have someone as good as Harry Kane, like one, but they ain't got the depth of what we've got in there. Cole Palmer is another one, like, you know what I mean? Like, in there, like, So there's so many, options in those attacking roles, you know what I mean? Defensively, not as strong as we could be, if I'll be really honest. Listen, we ain't played no one yet. Like, the tests will come later on in the tournament and all that. But I think that, I like Thomas Tuchel as a manager and whatever, but I don't think he should be England manager. That's my opinion. I think it should be English, but he's doing okay. And listen, he can't do no more than what he's doing at the moment. And it's not the most entertaining football. When you're 3-0 up after 20 minutes, so do you have to? You know what I mean? So that's how I feel it.
No, look, I think we've got great squad depth. The manager's here now. I don't think he'll be here long term. I genuinely think he's been brought in because he's doing up.
Try and win it this way. Yeah, exactly.
I reckon he'll do 2 tournaments and he'll go. I reckon he'll do the Euros and the World Cup, and that'll be him. And then I think it will be, and I think we will win one of them. I think we will.
Yeah.
Because I think we're too good not to. I just think we are. I think with Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka, Rice, Bellingham, even got players like Bowen and Eze and Rodgers, Gordon, Kane, Watkins, even Delap when he gets fit is a player.
Yeah. Great shout.
Striker option now. We've got Adam Wharton and Declan Rice, Kobe Mainu. They've got so many players coming through now. And, it weren't long ago, Lee, we were like, oh, crikey, this is a horrendous side, Jordan Henderson's one of our best midfielders, and Chris Smalling and Phil Jones are at the back together. You know what I mean? It was like horrific, wasn't it? You think, oh dear, this is awful. But actually, I do think we've got a hell of a chance now. But look, we're going to leave it there, people. We're going to do one super chat, which is coming from Lawrence, which is actually in relation to the Cronkies. He says, Lee, what's your opinion of the Jaguars, who are owned by Fulham, and the owner of the Rams, owned by the Cronkies at Wembley, on the 24 hours after Fulham play Arsenal, which is mad, really, isn't it? So Jaguars and the Rams play, and Arsenal and Fulham play, and both owners are going to have a weekend of sport. Maybe Silent Stan might come and watch us if he's in the area.
What weekend that is in for them guys? You know what I mean? Because surely you're going to come over and you can watch both. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, or it's just happened to be like that. But and it's funny that both teams have managed to play on the Sunday, and both their respective clubs playing on the Saturday. I don't know if there's anything in that or whatever. But listen, what if I was an owner of either one? Right, brilliant. Come over on the Friday for the so I've got nicely refreshed for the Saturday game, and then go to the American football on the Sunday. What a great weekend. Well, I think maybe that has been planned. I don't know, you know what I mean? Who knows? But
look, mate, it's potential, and I can't remember the last time Silent Stan come to a game, so maybe he will. You never know. But look, people, we're going to end it there. Me and Judges will be back in the next couple of days talking all things football. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. And Lee, I'll let you say goodbye, mate.
Yeah, listen, England are on tomorrow. Enjoy that, and enjoy the rest of the week, because the weekend it gets stressful again, everybody, and it certainly will do, So enjoy the little bit of time that you've got before we're all nervous. 5:30 on Saturday. Enjoy the few days you've got. Enjoy.